Hi, I'm Suzi Q P Dhol and welcome to MGig's summer season. We all hope you had a great Christmas. On this show, we'll look back at 2020 and some of the experiences people in the music business were confronted with. But there are some who are optimistic about 2021. We will hear from band members, record companies, venue managers, politicians, promoters, and maybe a little bit from me.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I don't care. Yeah, so that's why I said I thought my first gig's going to last 2 minutes.
So Max, the Dead Amigos, all the stuff we've done together with like Live and Local, St Kilda Festival, we've made many great gigs.
Yes, especially St Kilda Festivals.
One of the good things that you've done was join St Kilda Live Music Committee with me.
Yes.
Which hasn't always been an easy task.
No. It's good though.
But you know, it's been an interesting thing and how to recultivate.
Oh, of course. I remember first hearing when Mark got to be on the committee. And I was like, oh, Mark's in the committee, I want to be on the committee too. But I think that's the best thing about St Kilda is like, you know, people think it's like an inner city thing, but it, like when you're a local here or a musician and shit, it's like a country town.
It is.
It's like a community and if not a family, like a big family. Everyone takes care of each other. Everyone loves the scene. You know, all the musicians are good friends with the bar owners and vice versa and stuff. There's none of this like shit. Everyone takes care of each other. I've left my gear everywhere and just whatever, you know.
We do.
Yeah, and everyone, like, especially when everyone used to live here, you know, before everyone kind of moved, like some people moved out and stuff like that. But yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a very special place.
That's what the committee, I think, was fucking awesing too. Like, because I don't
know how many other municipalities actually have to put a committee together to keep live music, to be honest.
Well, I think it was even more than that because we discussed everything, and it was everything about what we wanted, and you know, it was a bunch of people committed to try and save it and stop these fucking noise complaints, and like it.
And
worked.
now there is no noise. That's not
well,
our problem.
there is no noise, so yeah. But
now we've got another problem to deal with, and that's what St Kilda Live Music is going to get.
I think coming out of this might have been the best kick up the arse for the fucking council ever, because it'll be like, no, there's no money. Like, you know, I always said it's not the fucking people paying $4 for a coffee that are bringing money into this fucking place. It's the people spending $400 over the bar trying to get a route, seeing a band that is fucking pumping money into this economy and shit. You know what I mean? So
that's it.
Yeah, and I think they'll realise that. They're going to be like, can you please play some shows? 100%.
There we go.
100%. Well, it's funner, isn't it?
I saw some stats out of Discogs this morning, actually. Okay. Australian act The Chats had the number 4 release on Discogs for physical releases in the world.
Wow. That is something.
And I think that was for April. So you sort of think, oh, wow, okay, physical sales, you know, downloads, whatever it be, you know, and a lot of Australian acts put out vinyl.
Vinyl's bigger.
Vinyl is huge. Yes. So that's the physical item that someone says, I own this, this is mine. And the same goes with band merch. So for a lot of physical releases now, likes of Gaga and Dua Lipa, I have both of their vinyls.
Yep.
And I also have, you know, a T-shirt, and it came in a, you know, merch pack, and that for me, I go, oh, I can wear that around. Someone can see that I'm a fan, and that is another revenue stream for artists. So likes of concerts, you'd get your, you know, your program, you'd get your merch, you'd get your little, you know, whatever you wanted. That is where they were getting revenue from that. I see it coming into music.
Yep.
So you can order your physical album, you can get your T-shirt bundled up in one, and the artist is making money from that. The fact that the Chats had done so well globally on that sort of scale, I go, wow, that's passion. And people going, I want to prove that I'm a fan by having it physically, not just I'm streaming it online and that makes me a fan or, you know, a stan. Yeah.
So hopefully that having that physical sort of copy of someone's music or their band shirt or something is hopefully that's coming back.
Yeah. I'm feeling it. I really am feeling it because, you're sort of seeing more bundles. It's a way for artists to, sort of do something really meaningful for their fans and give back at the same time, even though you're giving the money for that music and that piece of merchandise, but you're also... It goes both ways.
It goes both ways. Even before COVID, obviously, lot of artists weren't making money necessarily off their records.
Yeah.
It was heavily tour based. Do you see that as a future for your band?
Yeah, look, I really did see, over the last 5 or 6 years, or pretty much for us, we're, release CDs more than records, but that's all the same thing. But I really saw a major decrease in being asked for product after gigs in terms of CDs. And I was always pretty reticent about jumping into this whole kind of Bandcamp thing, and I was resistant to it. But with the upcoming tour that we we're going to be going on, and hopefully still are, I saw the huge potential in that in terms of playing outdoor festivals and to a much wider audience, and then those people, if they liked it, being able to download the album,
and find you guys.
as opposed to CDs or
Merch
whatever.
tables over there.
Yeah, merch tables over there. It seems like CDs are a little bit kind of redundant these days, and not everyone has a record player. But I did see that this was the way forward for us being involved, being on Bandcamp, and getting out there and touring. So at this point in time, it just remains to be seen, when we can jump in and do that and see what happens from it.
You've had a bit of involvement in creating also the parking spots that we have now at some of the venues for the musicians, the loading spots.
Yeah, a few years ago, a local resident came to me with an idea that say that it'd be great if we could do something to help musicians who, generally speaking, they drive private vehicles. They're not commercial vehicles. They have a lot of equipment, and instead of lugging the equipment from wherever they can find a park into the venue, or double parking and risking a fine from the local council, who are very good at doing that, they came up with the idea that if we could convert the underutilised loading bays out the front to musicians' parking bays, and we could issue a musicians' parking permit, so that during the day that any loading or unloading that needs to happen for the business can occur. And then at night, when generally the bands are on, the loading bay is available for the musicians to park there and unload their equipment and take it all into the venue, so they're not lugging it half a block from the car to the venue and again afterwards. So it was an idea that we pushed through council, and pleased to say we now have musicians' parking zone signs up outside the Espy and the Dogs Bar and the Prince of Wales and a few other venues around St Kilda.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Yeah, look, it's great. It's a small thing. There's little or no cost to council, but it makes the task of playing live music in St Kilda just a little bit easier for those that have to lug their equipment in and out of the venues.
And also, avoid getting fines as well for
Yeah,
the musicians.
there's the cost element to it, because you do hear from time to time that people do get stung. They do take the risk and double park.
Yeah.
They go in, they come back out, and they've got to fine it, and it's just an annoyance when you're trying to play and trying to unload your vehicle. And small thing council can do, but it sort of makes a big difference to the people who are trying to get their start in music, or trying to just fulfill even if it's just a hobby.
So I was in the US doing I called it Dellacoma's Cosmic Experience. So I've done at least one tour over there every year since 2011. But my last tour over there was 2018. And I wasn't quite ready to release a new Dellacoma album, so I decided to do a side project.
Yeah,
and
nice.
I got about 5 days into that before they decided the world was shutting down.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you had to travel back in the middle of the lockdown. Obviously, you had to quarantine as well.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was absolutely wild. I was literally on stage in Rochester, New York, when they shut down the whole state. So I got off stage, and the bar owner was like, about an hour ago, so like 30 minutes into my set, he said that the governor gave the order to just shut everything down.
Wow, like that, midway through.
Yeah, I mean, he let me go ahead and finish the set.
Okay.
But it happened, about half an hour into the set.
Yeah.
And then at that stage, there was still, a lot of the US was still open. But within the space of probably 48 hours, it was quite clear that the whole country was shutting down. So it's fortunate that I had a few friends that work for airlines and everything that were able to kind of make some calls and get me on an earlier flight, because I wasn't booked for to go home for another week and a half.
Yeah.
So I got into LA, and then I was waiting in the airport for my flight when they shut LA down.
How was the airport? Did it seem like apocalyptic?
It did, because I've been through like LAX so many times, and it's just chaos in there, and it was just like empty.
Yeah, it's scary.
And it was crazy too, because they were canceling like sort of every other flight. So then there's people trying to get out, and it's heartbreaking, seeing some people that, just, they're trying to get a visa last minute, just like, maybe like partners, where one's Canadian, one's American, and they're trying to get all their paperwork last minute so they can be in the same country, and it just doesn't come through. And so they're trying to figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And then you've got over the news, the governor of California saying 48 hours to get out or stay put sort of thing,
That's scary.
It's wild.
Yeah.
To start and end at the art centre, and they have. So they've been underwriting the bus tours. So we're middle of a contract right now, in middle of our fourth season. So as soon as we can have 18 to 20 people on a 25-seater bus, we're back in action.
Excellent.
And it's been wonderful having some of the special guests. So I always have a musical guest. The last tour we did was on the 13th or 14th of March, and our guests were Margaret Roadnight and Tim Rogers. So they were on separate.
The great Timmy.
So and then we have regular guests like Paulie Stewart's one of our guests, Stephen Cummings, Jane Clifton, who's incredible. And she's got so many stories. So, we go from the city to South Melbourne, to Albert Park, then to St Kilda, then round past Paran, South Yarra, then Richmond, and then Collingwood and Fitzroy, Carlton, and back to the city. So
Brilliant.
it's, and we stop at the corner and look at the Molly Meldrum statue.
Oh, bless. That's gorgeous. And when we do have such a rich history over all our suburbs and state. From
and
Geelong to Ballarat to Wollongong, everywhere. Wonderful.
That's right. And I'm hoping to ride a tour I'm actually riding on some tours for some other cities, and also Geelong, and sort of, making it a bit of a franchise if I can, because, that's another one of my crazy ideas. But that one.
Well, give me a call, sister.
But we do sometimes go past Molly's house and he comes out. He waves at us.
Oh, bless. Oh, cute Molly.
We give him a bit of a warning, but that's pretty special too. So that all started when I was working for the City of Yarra initially. So for 4 years I ran the City of Yarra's music festival, Leaps and Bounds, which I founded, and that was from 2013 to 2016. So the bus tours were part of that. That festival, and we only did Fitzroy, Collingwood and Richmond at the time, and then we also spent a lot of time at Bakehouse. We'd stop at Bakehouse and Hello and Quincy would give us a tour.
Bakehouse is a famous recording studio in Richmond.
And what's in the future, I guess, for the band as well? If once things sort of feel normal and you guys can get back out there, what's the future plans?
Well, we just enjoy making music together, and
Yeah.
That's
You
as
keep
deep as
going
it
with
gets.
that.
Yeah, like we're best mates. We're just like hanging out and writing riffs and doing that, and yeah, that'll always kind of happen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
On our terms, it's kind of like a long-term recording project kind of band, and we like getting together here and there and doing shows. You know, we'd like to the production value of the shows. You know, would be we like playing through big PAs and having big production value kind of thing. So if that means doing less gigs and ramping up, you know, quality over quantity kind of thing, I think it's probably like a long-term kind of, you know, shoot for the band.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Are you hoping to kick off with, if you can, depending on if we've still got the venues around, kick off on the tour that you were supposed to do sort of before lockdown?
Well, we haven't touched base. So it's only in this last week I've started to put my feelers out again and get in touch with bookers and agents and venues, and now that we can see kind of a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to, successful venues have scenes that people want to be involved with. You can't just put on a gig. You know, you've got to create events that people want to go to. You want to have a memory of going out, you know, and it's you remember the great nights of your life. Most people would tell you they remember the great shows that they've been to. It marks your life. It takes years. When you go and see a band, it takes you back to your happy place.
Yeah.
Makes you 18 or 21, 25, whatever. When I heard that music, it puts me in my sweet spot.
Bit of nostalgia there.
No. It makes you. It's not nostalgia. It's your life. And it's so exciting.
Yeah.
You're not 50 anymore or 60 or 63. So you're 25 again. You might not jump around as much or dance as well, but you're back to. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we also, like you mentioned, that energy that performers and yourself felt even on the stage. You feel that, obviously not to that extent, but even just being a part of,
being part of it,
you pick up that energy.
Yeah, it's like watching Duran Duran from the side of the stage at the Metro, and the bass player looking, going, you know, the girls. This is just like
VIP, coming back.
I kind of get asked this question a lot, and I kind of guess I have a stock trumpet answer, and I suppose Miles Davis is probably top of the list. But it's that never feels entirely accurate, because I'm not a jazz guy. I'm more of a rock guy. Although I can kind of, I call jazz my second language. I can take a solo. I can and I know the music. But feels like more of an accumulation of all those early brass experiences of playing in brass bands. And playing in brass bands, it's kind of very old-fashioned, sentimental, but really lyrical music. And the instrument that I played was flugelhorn, so it was not the flashy instrument like the cornet, which plays the, the super fast, super high stuff. It was more of a lyrical instrument that I played. I've got a band now it's a show that does Bacharach, but we've moved on to going Bacharach and beyond, and I've included a few Herb Albert tunes in that. I've always wanted to do a Herb Albert kind of show, because totally. We had on the singles. I've still got the 7-inch single of Tijuana Taxi, Lonely Ball, all of that stuff. Fantastic stuff.
But of course, it's not only music that's it's been a big change. It's also sport too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think the day that the Grand Prix, whether you like it or not, was cancelled, that was the big turning point. Literally, we were on air from 6 a.m. until about 10 o'clock that day, just trying to find out what was going on, because that was really that crucial point for the world to change. There was still that not sure whether everyone was going to shut down or what was happening. And once the Grand Prix was cancelled, that was sort of like, okay, game on. This is a completely different to anything we've ever seen before. And then, the football, for example, that they played one round and now that's come back again, but every day there's different aspects to that story. Will they be able to, is there testing, all that sort of thing? But That's a huge part of our broadcasting every year. So then musicians get a benefit because we play more music. So it's strange where some things are. I mean, I'm not a football broadcaster, but you know, there's a lot of people that were in the wilderness for a while, and with the football clubs, a lot of people lost their jobs too. It's kind of, I'm yet to find an industry that it hasn't affected really. But I feel like now that the footy's sort of back, there haven't been too many more cases. There's been some gigs in actual venues. I feel like we're starting to turn a corner, but I don't know how it's going to be later on in the year. Like, I feel like there's still a fair bit of this story to go.
I think there'll be more going on here. Look, we're bringing some of our bands here next year. We definitely want to bring LA Guns down here, and I've got a couple of others that we're talking to at the moment. So what will happen is LA Guns will come out here. Be great for them to play with Rose Tattoo, for example. Mercy Kill's on the gig, opening up for them. You know, so there'll be lots of opportunities for our bands and bringing bands here to do Australia, New Zealand, and Japan.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we'll concentrate on. I don't need a fucking touring guy for that. We can do all that ourselves.
Yeah.
So, you know, at the end of the day, that's where I think it's going to happen next year. And it's going to make you concentrate on homegrown and close to home markets.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
like New Zealand.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's hope we have a really exciting 2021 and yeah, keep it local. We have to, don't we? Yeah.
We have to. I think it's touring wise, definitely. And as I said, that's going to, if I can bring a lot of international bands here and of our own bands here, because they can't tour there, they're happy to do it, man. And that means our bands on our label, like yourself, will benefit.
Yeah.
I am actually thinking do festivals together. So we've got enough bands now to be able to do fucking 10 weeks of festivals. So I think that's something we want to look at doing as well. So no, it's exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it all.
Yes, look, we are too. Look, once it opens up, yes, I'm sure some amazing things are going to happen, and it'll be So it'll change the whole setup. I'm sure, you know, the whole Australian music industry and the touring model that we know. So let's look forward to an exciting 2021.
And that's all for this week. We hope everyone has a very happy new year. If you want to contact us, please send us an email. Thank you for watching and rock on 2021.